finally, mobility can have an interesting impact. So our protocol is actually outperformed in the case of high mobility by the minimum distance protocol, because our protocol tends to take into account what will happen in the future. But if mobility is high, this information becomes very soon obsolete. This is the very reason why, in the case of high mobility, it's better to take a minimum distance approach. Finally, for future work, we basically plan to come up with a more complicated definition of radiation, first of all, not just power density. Also, to not study only sensor networks, but also Wi-Fi and cellular, etc., and heterogeneous superposition over time. Finally, come up with radiation awareness for fundamental problems like data propagation, routing, and such stuff. And also, of course, experiment with real devices, not only tiny less, but also maybe spectrum analyzers may be needed. That's it, basically. Okay, so thank you, guys.
Question from the audience?
Back in the original model, close to the beginning of the presentation, you said you're going to make the assumption that you have this multiplicative effect. And
yeah.
You said we're going to make the assumption maybe it's something different. Is there any physical intuition for why maybe that's the right thing or why something else might be better?
Let me tell you. For example, in mobile phones, they say that the effect of time is exponential, which means that if you talk like for a few minutes, it doesn't matter. But if you continue talking, then the impact of the brain becomes much higher. But this is for mobile phones. So in order to come up with such stuff, with corresponding trends in our setting, we have to actually, and we partially do this, cooperate with biologists, with physicists, so we have a multidisciplinary team working on that. So we even expose cells to radiation and try to evaluate the impact of radiation to cells. Still, we cannot provide definite answers. There is still more research needed on that.
I have one.
Come on.
I have a criticism, matter of fact.
Criticism?
A new one.
Okay, I remove your name from the
is that when we find the path with the minimum radiation, which sometimes can be even the longest path, you never know. Right? We forget about fading, which is the main right here. It means that maybe this longest path, which has a minimum radiation, if you consider fading, it will be not minimum radiation anymore.
Actually, let me take the opportunity to tell the following, that this problem is quite similar, but certainly different compared to other problems like interference, coverage, exposure. And in the paper, in the camera Reddit, we have one paragraph trying to identify the similarity, but also the difference with respect to those three problems, and definitely the problems suggested by the should be taken into account in the future work.
So let's send the speaker.
The last speaker of this session is Antonio Gonga. He is right now a PhD student at KTH, Sweden, and his research interest is wireless sensor networks. He will present revisiting multi-channel communication to mitigate interference and link dynamics in wireless sensor networks.
So, this is a joint work with Ulla Francino, assistant professor at Charles University Network, Professor Nati is research engineer at PhD example, temporal dynamics can be, for example, mobility of users or things. For example, if you're thinking that you want to use wireless sensor networks in a factory, if you move a door or whatever, or people moving around, that can affect the reception of the node. And normally these will manifest in the variables. Basically, you have a period of time where you have a burst of packets that are lost from a sender to a receiver. And this is very valid for time-critical applications. For example, if you have an application that needs can deliver of packets, and this is not a good thing because it will increase, you will have a spike in delay. So, another focus on this work is that how to mitigate the effects of the impact of link analytics. So there are two theories that are emerging, or they are emerged. One is advocated by Professor Chris Wister at the University of Berkeley, California. He says that we can mitigate interference in link analytics and wireless sensor networks by using, for example, channel diversity, frequency diversity. For example, when channel hopping, this is well known, a protocol called the double synchronization ESMP, double synchronized mesh protocols. And then there is a counter-argument by Professor David Boulder that says that no, adaptive routing is enough. So channel routing is unnecessary. So he advocates that you can still achieve a good high hand-to-hand throughput and also good reliability if you have a synchronous channel and then selecting constantly good links. So in this case, what we do here, key observations is that, for example, channel hopping is already used in the wireless card, and this is the last standardization of the 4E. Basically, this employs the communication is based on multiple channels. So the key here is like, okay, since multiple channels being used in many places now, many protocols, this is for industrial application, for example, this is what we implement. So then it's important to understand even further what are the advantages and limitations of channel hopping. So in this work, we have three main contributions. First, we investigate channel hopping, how channel hopping can decrease the path loss direction. Then we investigate how channel hopping can increase the statistical independence of losses in time and frequency. Frequency is not here because of time. And then we quantify the benefits and limitations of frequency diversity and adaptive routing at the end. So this is my outline for today. I'll start with experimental setup and methodology. This is a practical work that was implemented in our lab. And then I'll go to single-hop study. I'll study link barsness in terms of maximum barsness, compare single channel and multiple channel. And then I'll analyze temporal correlation of packets, how packets can be correlated in time, and how that is bad, for example, if you use adaptive, for example, opportunistic routing. And I'll go to multi-hop analysis. So I will show you in dense, medium dense networks, and I'll have a case for sparse networks at the end. So this is how I test the environment. Basically, we deploy this test bed in our department. This is a 6 building story, and we deploy this network in the 7th floor. So we have many offices here. Professor Mike has been there. And we have a kitchen here, and we have many people around here. This is the lab where I was sitting. And we had 32 mods placed in the ceilings and several places at the office. And then we collected several days of experimental data, and we repeated the experiment several times. We have, for example, 3 access points in this case. We have one here, and one here. We have microwaves in the kitchen here. So in Sweden, it's normal to have kitchen microwaves and everything in the kitchen so that people can bring food and have their lunch at work. And we collected traces in 3 scenarios, basically. So we have a single channel that will serve as a base comparison base with a multiple channel. We collected channels and 2 channels hopping, taking all the combinations from 11 to 16, and then N channel. basically in any channel, what we do here. So we increase the hopping sequence from 2 here to 4, 8, 12, and 16. And all this data is stored for data analysis. Remember that here we didn't create a new MAC protocol, we didn't invent a new MAC protocol. So we went to the specification of the 15.4e, how is it implemented, basically what I implemented here. So basically DMA-based evaluate each one. So I just implemented that protocol. And we have here round robin, basically there is a server running behind, and there is a Python application that I write. So basically, it schedules which node should transmit and uploads the binary, collects the data from the sensor test bed, and stores it in the server. So that's automatically run for several days. And for every transmission, a node sends 10,640 consecutive packets. Basically, this number is because it's 1640 multiplied by 16. You have 16 bits. You can store one packet per bit. When a packet is received, you store one. Consider you have one reception. So the other nodes in this case will log the data. So the inter-packet interval we use 10 milliseconds because this is the standard time, it's not in wireless start. Example. So in the first result, what we have here. So in this case, we selected. What we have in this graph here, this is the Bart's length direction, and this is the cumulative distributed function of the Bart's length. And in this case, we selected two channels, that is 25 and 26, exactly. Because these channels are normally not affected by Wi-Fi. They are at the end of the spectrum in Europe, as I remember. And then we try to see how their maximum Bart's loss is. And we can see here that if you have a single channel, basically, you have, for example, this is 25, this is 26, and their combination actually is smaller here. So here you can prove that multiple channels, if you use channel hopping, actually, you can reduce Bart's length. But here, for example, what we do, across all the experiments, channel 13 and 22 had the worst performance. And then we selected these two channels and their combination, because we have a scenario with two channels. And then again here we see that when we have a channel hopping of two channels, we have a smaller Bart's length. So here we repeat the same experiment, the same analysis, but what we do. For example, here we have when you have the opening sequence of 4 channels, 8, 12, and 16 channels, and then we do the same comparison. So you can see that if you have 4 channels, if you increase to 16, there is not much improvement here. So why we did it? Because most of the results so far have been just done using PRR. So we think PRR is not enough. It guides a lot of information. So the key observations you can take here, key message is that so if you use channel hopping, yes, it can reduce your Bart's loss direction. For people working with critical applications where the packet should be transmitted on time, so that's a good news for you. And so the next part is that, okay, I have now, let me say I have this one example here. Typically, how is it done in the sensor networks? So you have this transmitter, this is the receiver, and there is another node here. Probably the packet goes here, the same. But now there is a new research emerging that is very strong now, opportunistic routing. So instead of routing a packet in one fixed path, you can actually select another node that gives progress to the packet, even though that this link here is not the best one. So in this case, you don't want these two links to have, you don't want these two links to be correlated, to have a correlated reception. Because if in this case they are correlated, means that if you lose a packet here, you lose a packet here. If you receive a packet here, you receive a packet here. In terms of opportunistic routing, that's nothing. You don't want that. So in this case, what we do, we try to quantify these, temporal correlation packets using this factor we call beta factor. So we study in single channel and multi-channel communication, since we have already set measurements, we'll try to analyze this metric here. So what the data does in this case, it will quantify the temporal correlation of packet losses, and this data is based on a conditional packet delivery function Cn. So what the Cn describes basically the conditional probability of successful receiving successful packet reception given previous packet were received or lost. How do we compute beta is basically we consider a sequence of packets received between each transmitter and receiver pair, and then beta will describe in this case the link Bartlett of a given transmitter receiver pair. So you can see here for a given channel of sequence. So some results here you can see. So what we see here. So this is an example. We have, for example, a sequence of two channels. This is 17 and 26. And then we have the individual channels. And then we compare these two beta here. So the values of beta, when you have beta equal to 0, this means that these two links have independent reception. If you have equal to 1, it means they're positively correlated or negatively correlated. So what we can see here, when beta is equal to, when we have a sequence of two channels, basically these links, almost 80% of them are almost independent. Now if you increase the sequence to 4 channels, so this curve now is becoming more basically a straight line. Then if you increase even further the sequence hopping, you can see now for 16 basically you have something like this. So which means that here you can see that if you use channel diversity, you can basically, you have the packet receptions are independent. So the key observation you can see here is that, so if you use multiple channels or multi-channel communications, they correlate the packet losses in time. So you can see here, for example, for 16 channels, that 80% of our links show independent packet losses. And then we take the results we have, then here what we do basically. So we have the analysis we did in the beta and the maximum loss was a single hop analysis. So here is multi-hop analysis. So what we do here? Here we compare channel hopping and adaptive routing. So to do that, what we do basically, we have several scenarios. One of them is a dense network and another one is medium dense network, and then we create a sparse network. Why we do it? Because, for example, in a wireless ARC, you have fixed routing, because when you set the network, the master node, the gateway sets the route, how much you send data. So then in a sparse network, we want to see how they both adaptive routing and channel hopping compare the performance. We vary the network density, basically. We eliminate links based on their PRR. And then from the best PRR to then we eliminate links. In this case, we start to get a sparse network until the network becomes disconnected. So I like the observation here that we built a routing tree on top of our traces, and we use EPX as a routing metric as it's used nowadays wireless sensor networks. And the first result we see here is that here again we try to use the worst channels we have in the overall experiments, and then we compare it with the channel hopping. That's the sequence. So you can see here that this is, we eliminate links here, and then here is the average end-to-end delay. So what here it shows that if you use these, for example, in this case these two channels, their combination, meaning that the combination of channel 13 and 22, the delay basically is the average between these two. However, the maximum delay here is where you can see that for maximum delay, you have a better delay here if you use multiple channels, or if you use channel hopping. So, and in terms of reliability, is where here the contradiction between these two professors come from. Is you can see that here the reliability for channel hopping is basically 1%, 100%, But for single channel here, this channel also is very good. It's close enough to this one, while this one is not that good. And so in this case, these two channels are strongly interfered channel by Wi-Fi. As you can see, channel 13 is the Wi-Fi channel 1, and channel 22 basically is the last channel of Wi-Fi. And then we analyze the second case. So in the second case, what we do? So we select the two channels that are interference-free. In this case, we select channel 16, 15. If you look into the spectrum, you see that 15 is clear. And then 26 is at the end. And then here, what we evaluate in this case, we evaluate two things. We evaluate the maximum delay and then the reliability. So now here you can see that when you have channel hopping, you have better delay. So the observations you can take here that when routing topology can be adapted to the dynamics and interference, so adaptive routing and channel hopping, as you see in our performance. And also you can see that channel hopping here reduces the average end-to-end delay and the maximum delay. But the problem is that if you use a single channel to achieve the same performance, you have to know that the channel conditions a priori is where the advantage of multiple channel comes from. So in a sparse networks, just quickly here, so this is a sparse network, basically the other nodes are not here, and then we do the same thing, we wrap 10,000 packets in every path, and then we show the results again. So here you see the end-to-end delay, and this is the reliability. Then you can see here that, for example, for this path, channel hopping performance much more better. And in this case, for example, we apply it to wireless ARC. So these are the key observations also. And then, as a conclusion, I have here that, so for single hop, then you know that channel hopping can reduce the link sparseness, as you just have seen. And also, you can decorate packets in time and frequency. For multi-hop, dense and medium dense networks, so they both have comparable performance, but for sparse networks, channel hopping here is much more better. So, thanks a lot.
Question from the audience? Okay, so I have a quick question.
Yes.
Can you use maybe 1 or 2 sentences to tell me what's new? Because I know channel hopping has been studied quite extensively, so what's the hotline?
So, I would say that most of the research that we are doing now, there is nothing new, but we try to make extensions to problems that still exist, because channel hopping has been used for a long time and no one solved the problem. For example, how can you mitigate interference? It still exists. So in this case, here we try to explain really how, for example, you can create your smart schemes. How can you create better hopping sequences? And if, for example, if you are working with the critical delay applications, how channel hopping can help you? Because you can see that if the maximum vacuum length, for example, you have a bound of 5 with a time sort of 10 milliseconds, then you know that it's 50 milliseconds. Then you can create your application, for example, the delay tolerance of 60 or 70 milliseconds. So we try to deepen the knowledge that exists already and show in reality how we have test-based results come out. So that's what we did.
Okay, so this concludes the morning session, and thank you. Lunch is served outside at the same spot as yesterday. The afternoon session will start around 1. We're running 7 minutes late, so maybe 1:05.
Right.
Because he claims that this strange transfer appears anyway.
像拍照。